There's a lot of aspects of both Boneworks and Bonelab that makes them the amazing games they are. From the great physics and interactions, to the pure atmosphere of these games. It's all amazing in my opinion. And today I will talk about a really important aspect of the atmosphere of almost any piece of media, which is the music and soundtrack. Now, I'll go over why I think these games have some of the best video game soundtracks I've ever heard, and also the differences between both games' soundtracks. To start all of this off though, I will have to introduce Michael Wyckoff, the composer of all of these songs. Wyckoff was first introduced into SLC's games with Hooverdunkers, which means he's actually been there from the start, as Brandon knew Wyckoff from before and offered him a job as SLC's composer. He has made some amazing soundtracks for basically all of SLC's games, and will also be there to compose the music of SLC's future games. This video is going to focus on the music in Boneworks and Bonelab though. Starting with Boneworks, the atmosphere of this game is just on another level. The music fits the tone of every moment almost perfectly, which further amplifies the overall feeling you get while playing. Going into the tutorial level of the game, which is the museum, the music here, in my opinion, perfectly captures the happy but curious vibe that a player usually has during the first playthrough. As you then move on to streets, however, the tone drastically changes and goes into more of a "where am I" tone. You explore the abandoned city, and I even gotta give credit to the sound effects that echoes through the streets, which altogether with really good level design makes you feel alone in this big world. The transition between the fun and curious museum level to the more serious street tone is really cool. Some of my favorite moments in the game include when you first see the tower close up in the level central station. Here the song "What Am I" plays as you walk up the stairs. Now, except for absolutely tanking your FPS, this was probably one of my favorite moments during my first playthrough, and probably still is. The ending of the game is actually really damn cool as well, since it isn't your ordinary ending with a boss fight or whatever, but instead you climb a huge ladder, which I guess is kind of a boss? I don't know dude. What I do know is that the music in this moment is really fucking cool. There are a ton of more moments and songs that I love in this game, and I will play a couple of them now without talking too much. We will now move on to the soundtrack of Bonelab, which has a bit more lighter tone songs than Boneworks, but still has that overall vibe that I absolutely love. Now the campaign of this game is something that the community, or at least the people that played Boneworks, actually reacted quite negatively to. This was because the story and levels felt so much more linear and not nearly as open as the previous game had it. The soundtrack though was still just as fire. The game starts off in a fantasyland environment with really cool medieval kind of music. But you later transcend into the old Myth-West environments, and that old vibe is now back. The music here makes it feel like the place has been abandoned, and everything there has been left behind, which is exactly what happened, but I kinda get that feeling when hearing it. Just as with Boneworks, I can't go over every single song or moment, but I will show you my favorite moments and songs, starting with the level Mine Dive. Now this level is really chill, as all you do is ride a cart and shoot at the targets. However, it's really lonely at the same time, as there's no Jimmy and no enemies. Now the music in the beginning of this level is part of the reason you feel that way. And then when the music changes to more action-like, you do too, which really shows how big of an impact music does to the consumer of really any piece of media. And I find that really cool. I really love the music that plays at the end of Bonelab 2, as it kinda makes you feel sad, as if you got through something but now it's all over, even though the campaign of this game is really damn short. There's also a lot of action sequences in Bonelab, which there of course was in Boneworks as well. They just feel a lot different in Bonelab, as they feel a lot lighter toned and not as serious and gritty as Boneworks did. I will again play some of my favorite songs from this game.
Oh, give me land, lots of land under starry skies above. Don't fence me in.
Now that I yapped about all of these cool moments, I will talk a bit more in depth about why I personally like this music so much. Now this is probably a mix between how much I love both the music and the games, but I often get this nostalgic feeling while playing both the games and hearing the music. I think that a big part of the music feeling nostalgic is because Wyckoff used a lot of analog instruments mixed with modern tools and instruments. This gives the music a kind of 80s to 90s vibe that I absolutely love. Another really important thing is that these songs are not just random background songs there to simply fill in the silence like a lot of other games, but are instead real songs with actual good hooks, beats, and meaning. The songs in a way represent the player in what you're feeling and doing, as well as representing the world you're exploring. The music feels mysterious if the player is in a mysterious place, and it feels happy and playful if you as a player are doing or being in some place happy and playful. And if you're in a fight, well then you get some action music. The music itself is so good that it can take an otherwise boring part to making you feel shit that I don't even know how to explain. Overall, I love his music for all of these games, and I also like to use them in my own videos when for example talking about stuff like this, as I feel like it really enhances the viewing experience just as it enhances the game experience. This video is now over, but I want to say something before you leave. As I'm making this, I'm getting really close to 1000 subs, and if you like these videos that I make, then it would mean a lot to me if you subscribed. Thank you very much for watching all of this, it means a lot. Also, comment what your favorite song or thing about these songs is, I'd love to read it. Bye.